Welcome to another video tutorial. In this video, I will present Introduction to NCBI, its different tools, and data submission to NCBI. I will also introduce the commonly used terms and nomenclature used in NCBI. Before I start, I want to acknowledge that these slides were prepared at University of British Columbia for Sequencing and Bioinformatics Consortium. So let's formally begin with Introduction to NCBI. As everyone knows, NCBI stands for National Center for Biotechnology Information, and its URL is ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. And NCBI is developed by the US government at the National Institute of Health, and it was established for better informational processing method for vast amount of data being generated. Currently, it includes comprehensive website for biologists, and it includes biology related databases, and it also includes several tools to view and analyze data. And this is the home page of NCBI. You can simply go to the Google and write NCBI. This would be the first page, and as here you can see on the home page, here are the different resources: chemical, bioassays, data and software, DNA and RNA, domains and structures, genes and expression, genetics and medicine, genomes and maps, homology, literature, proteins, sequence analysis, taxonomy, training and tutorial, and variation. And here are some popular resources, and if you would like to go about the detail of NCBI, I mean how it works as organization, what is their mission, and what is their organizational goal, and here are few recent news and blogs article, and you can even see them here. So moving ahead, INSDC stand for International Nucleotide Sequence Database Collaboration, is actually a long-standing foundational initiative that operates between DDBJ, this is DDBJ, which stand for DNA Data Bank of Japan, and NCBI. This is the collaboration between DDJ, NCBI, and EBI, which stand for European Nucleotide Archive, ENA. So INSDC, this collaboration actually covered the spectrum of data reads through alignments, assemblies of functional annotation, enriched with contextual information relating to the sample and experimental configurations. Here are the key resources present in NCBI. So first would be the literature, then we have genes, we have proteins, then we have also genomes, then we have clinical and chemical. Actually, NCBI maintains over 40 databases, and here is NCBI resources. Once you will click on this all databases, so it will give you the list of all those resources. So here is all those resources. As I have previously discussed, you can see here we have literature, then genes, proteins, we have genomes, clinical, and PubChem. And here is the list of all those databases, including all type of resources. NCBI hosts a variety of tools to analyze these datasets, including literature, genes, proteins, genomes, clinical, and chemicals. And in NCBI resources, actually NCBI maintains almost 40 databases, which can be divided into 6 main categories, and NCBI hosts a variety of tools to analyze these datasets. So we will be covering mostly this genes, proteins, genomes, and clinical in this session today. And now let's talk about the databases. And NCBI databases can be divided into two types. One is archival and other is curated, and the later on we will see what are the differences between archival databases and curated databases. Actually, the archival databases are redundant. What is the meaning of redundant? It means you may have the many sequence records per gene, per protein, or per genome, and submitter maintains record. I mean, there is actually the no controlled vocabulary or variation in the annotation of biological feature. So it's totally depend on the submitter, I mean how it maintains the record. So there is no hard and fast check on this. So this is archival database. And if we go on the next slide, so we will see NCBI archival database is also called as the gene bank, and here is its website. You can locate this, and later on in the practical session we will also see how we can access to this NCBI archival database. So in the gene bank you will see that genetic sequence databases, and it provide access to most up-to-date and comprehensive annotated collection of all publicly available DNA sequences. So there is no restrictions on the user to use this archival databases. And whenever you will see any file in the gene bank, there is actually the gene bank flat file format, and we can see one by one. You can see in the first line begin with the locus, and here is its accession ID. Then we have sequence information, and you will see that in the gene bank databases is divided into 18 divisions. So the first one is actually the PRI, which is the primate sequences. Then we have ROD, which is rodent sequences. Then MAM, VRT, INV, PLN, BCT, and many others. So you can check all these abbreviations later on, and among them the famous one is EST, which is expressed sequence tag. And similarly this INV is also famous, invertebrate sequences. And then we have STS, which stand for sequence tag sites. And moving ahead, we will see then next. You can see in the definition, this is Redus norvegicus interleukin 13 gene. This is actually the human interleukin 13 gene and its messenger RNA sequences. So in the follow-up slides we will also see what is the meaning of this NM and different other. Then we have accession, then we have version, then we have keywords, then we have source, then we have organism, and then we have reference. And as here you can see in the reference, this is actually the author details, then they have that publication title, then this is the journal name, and this is PubMed ID, and this is their remark. And then we have the origin, sequence, and then we have different features including source, gene, CDS. And NCBI databases, as I have discussed previously, were actually the two types. One was the archival and the second is actually the curated databases. And as I previously discussed, archival databases are redundant. I mean, you may have many sequences record per gene, but this is non-redundant. I mean, only one record for each gene, and this is actually maintained by experts. I mean, this is highly regulated by the several experts, so that we may have only one record per gene. So moving ahead, here is the reference sec, and as we know, this reference sec is actually used as a serve for the basis of medical, functional, and diversity studies. So they maintain this reference sec, and it provides a staple reference for gene identification and characterization. So it is also used for mutation, expression studies, and polymorphism discovery and comparative analysis. So whenever you will see any ref-seq accession number, so it can be of genomic. So whenever it would be the genomic, so it will start with N, N stand for nucleotide. So if this is complete genome, so this would be the NC. So you can see NC stand for complete genome, complete chromosome, or the complete plasmid, and similarly NG. NG stand for genomic region, and similarly NT stand for genomic contig. And if this N stand for nucleotide, M and M stand for messenger RNA, so if its succession belongs to any messenger RNA, then it would start with NM, and then if it start with NP, it means this is the protein ref-seq accession number. And then we also have gene and protein model from genome annotation projects. Like if we have XM, I mean if we are not dealing with the genomic level, then it should be the XM. So you can see X stand for protein models, and if we are taking the at messenger mRNA level, then it is XM, and if it is at RNA level XR, I mean non-coding transcripts, then this is XR. And similarly, if this is protein, so it would start with XP. So moving ahead would be the NCBI databases. And as we know, in NCBI databases, we have gene, and we have protein, we have genome, and we have clinical variation. So as we know, in the gene, what we will get gene sequencing and annotation used as a reference for the study of ortholog, structure, expression, and evolution. And in NCBI, if we will search any gene, like for this example, if we will search IL, I mean interleukin 13, so we will get literature, which I will not cover in this lecture today. And then we will get genes, proteins, genomes, and clinical. So here is those genes. So you can see for this gene there are 617 gene reported, and which might be redundant or non-redundant. And here we have GEO datasets, then we have GEO profiles, then we have homologene, then we have PopSet. And moving ahead would be, if you will click on that single gene, so you can see this IL-13 is actually the interleukin 13 gene. So how we will know that this gene is from our main ref-seq gene? So once you will click on this interleukin 13, so you can see this is the NCBI reference sequences, which would come under the heading of this ref-seq. So we can see more details about this. So this is the NCBI reference seq. So we have gene bank, we have FASTA file format, then we have sequence viewer for this interleukin 13 gene, and we have Homo sapiens interleukin 13 on chromosome 5. And you can see we have the complete record, we have coding sequence, and we have also the gene feature. And as we know, in the FASTA file format, so you can see any FASTA file format begin with this greater than sign, then we have NG, I mean this is the sequence, then we have the gene name and its reference gene on the chromosome 13. So as we know, the FASTA file format is used for storing sequence read only, and this is most commonly used for reference data seq for any FASTA file format. And then moving ahead would be, if we take the sequence viewer, so we can see the Homo sapiens interleukin 13 on the chromosome 5. Here are the clinical variants, then we have cited variants, and then this gene, and here it's different alignment for reference transcript alignments with the gene. And now moving to the protein, and as we know, it would be protein sequences, 3D structure, and all those tools which are involved in the study of proteins are functional domains and its active sites. So here are those protein structures, and if you will search this interleukin 13, so you will get these conserved domains, identical protein groups, then you have protein family, models, then structure. Here is refseq protein. So, and here is its related information. I mean, if you want to order the ctRNA clone for this protein, you can also directly order from any biotechnological company. You can also view 3D structure, and you can also check bioassays by targeting. And moving ahead, you will see this is interleukin isoform B in the Homo sapiens, and you can see this is its identity. If you want to view its identical proteins which share similarity with this interleukin 13, so you can get from this. And if you want to check its FASTA format, you can check this one. And if you like to go with graphics, so you can click on this. So here is interleukin 13 isoform B, and here its FASTA file format, and you can simply click on this send to download its FASTA file format. And I will also demonstrate later on in the practical videos as well. So here is that interleukin 13 file format, and if you would like to go for protein 3D structure, so you can simply click on this. And once you will click on this, it will take you to web-based protein structure viewer that is interactive. And you can see this is NMR structure of interleukin 13. So you can also click on this 3D view to get more details about the sequence and the shape. Our next target is genome, and as the name represents, the genome sequence would contain several genome assemblies, large-scale functional genomics data, and source of biosamples. So you will see after proteins we have genomes, and in this, related to this, we have different assemblies, biocollections, bioprojects, biosamples, which discuss this our search query. And then we have genomes, nucleotide, SRA, and taxonomy. So moving ahead, once you will click on this, so you can see in the genome we have assembly, we have gene bank, then we have referencing ID, and you can see in the annotation we have NCBI referencing for this gene assembly. And if you would like to download its FASTA file sequence format, so you can click and select this file and download. And even you have other GTF and GFF3 format, so I will explain what is GTF and GFF3 format. So you can see in other sequence feature and annotation file, any file should also can be downloaded. Genome file can be downloaded in the form of GFF3 or GTF, and GFF3 stand for journal feature format, and sometimes it is also called as gene finding format, but this is mostly known as journal feature format. And GTF is also gene transferable format. So here are its different fields.